Hello everyone, it's Will Boyles of Will's Meals, and I'm going to show you how to save a bunch of money. I'm going to show you how to cut up 8 pieces of chicken for under $8 in less than 8 minutes. Want to learn how to do it? Let's get started. All right, let's get started with the fun stuff, cutting up the chicken. Before we get started, do I look any brighter with this new lighting getup I have here to help you see and learn? Do I look any younger with these lights? Hope so. But if not, it's okay. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use kitchen shears, because I figure if I'm teaching how to cut up a whole chicken, I'm probably talking to beginners, and it's easier for beginners to use poultry shears or kitchen shears versus a big knife like something like this right here. We will use this to cut the two chicken breasts, but I'm putting the cart in front of the horse. Let's get down to the first thing we're going to do, which is cut up the wings. All right, then we're going to cut up the leg quarters. Leg quarter, if you don't know, is the leg and the thigh, which is connected to the carcass. And finally, we're going to cut up these two chicken breasts. All right, but before we get started, let's do some stretching. Okay, just like before you exercise, you stretch. We're really going to exercise this whole chicken. So let's get it stretched out. Okay, all around, up around the wishbone. Okay, and then let's massage it. All right, because what happens when you get stressed out? You want to go get a massage, right? And we don't want a stressed out chicken. So let's get started now that it's stretched and massaged with these wings. And here's where we're going to cut this chicken wing off. Right here. These are going to be the first two of our 8 pieces are going to be these chicken wings. Get my hand out of the way so you can see. I'm using the tips. Right? Most of the time I'm cutting, I'm just going to use the tips of these poultry shears, chicken shears. All right, I'm trying to go around making sure I don't waste any of the skin, because that skin is delicious. And if you're cutting through bone, you're doing something wrong. So as you can see there, I just cut through the cartilage where the chicken wing connects to the carcass of the chicken. So just cutting through the carcass, or excuse me, the cartilage, not the bone. All right, let's do the same with this chicken wing here. Once again, I'm going to use the tip of my chicken shears. Okay, just the tip here to get through. That's bone, trying to find the cartilage as I go around and save the delicious skin. Okay, something else we can do, give a little pull, and you can see that cartilage there. Can you see that cartilage there? Pull out of the chicken. All right, can you see that? That's bone, that's cartilage. So we're going to cut along the cartilage. Again, I'll try to put this where you can see it. All right, so here we already have 2 of our 8 pieces are 2 chicken wings. So now that the chicken wings are done, let's proceed on to our leg quarters, which, like I said earlier, the leg quarter is the leg and the thigh. All right, what I like to do with the leg quarters, all right, is cut around, again, the skin first, because a leg quarter consists, like I said earlier, of a chicken leg and a chicken thigh, and I want this skin, okay, on my chicken leg and on my chicken thigh when I'm cooking the chicken. All right, so let's make sure we save that delicious skin, because whether you're frying it or baking it, it's going to be really good. All right, here's how we're going to break off this leg quarter. We're going to go like this, just like that, and you're going to see the cut a little bit more of the skin. All right, hopefully, let me put that in a direction where you can see it. Here's the leg, here's the thigh. This thigh is connected to the carcass. I'm going to turn it like that to get the chicken thigh bone disconnected from the carcass. Can you see that there? Okay, so all I did was twist like that, and I twisted the chicken thigh bone right off of the carcass. Okay, then all we have to do is disconnect the thigh from the carcass. Being careful with the skin. All right, here is a leg quarter, and then we're going to move to the other side, to the other leg quarter, which is connected to the carcass. And once again, I'm just cutting around the skin to save that delicious skin for our cooking. Okay, and once again, I'm just going to turn it, same as before, until that thigh bone, feeling the thigh bone here. Okay, leg bone, thigh bone, and let's get that off. You see how that thigh bone just comes right out? Okay, and that's what we want. That's separating that leg carcass, leg quarter from the carcass of the chicken. All right, so here's how we're going to make 2 pieces into 4. Here's our leg quarter. and you're going to see a, let's swap these out so it's easier for you to see. All right, you're going to see a line here of fat, a fat line, okay? And we want this, normally where that fat line is just about where the thigh bone connects to the leg bone. Thigh bone connects to the leg bone. If I could sing, I'd sing you the whole song, but if I started singing, you would immediately skip to another YouTube video on how to cut up a chicken. And I don't want you to do that. I want you to stick to mine. So I'm cutting right along that fat line because that is about where it connects. If you get in there and you're hitting bone, you know you got to move one way or the other to get to cartilage, not the bone. All right, so here's our first chicken leg. Here's our first chicken thigh. Okay. Let's go on to our second leg quarter. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to cut right along this fat line here. Just like if you're working with wood, you're going to use a pattern. If you're sewing a pattern, you're sewing something, you're going to sew along the pattern, right? Well, our pattern is this fat line right here. And I'm going to get in there and see, let's see, is this it? Nah, I'm getting bone. Let me go up towards the leg a little bit more. Is that it? That's it. Cartilage instead of bone. So once again, here is our second thigh, chicken thigh. And here is our second chicken leg. So we already, in no time at all, have 6 pieces of chicken, 2 wings, all right, 2 legs and 2 thighs, which were previously a leg quarter. Only thing left is our 2 chicken breasts. You might say, how are we going to get the chicken breast? Well, here's our chicken breast here. Okay. This is our carcass here. So let's just cut this carcass off the chicken breast. And once again, we're going to use this fat line here. Just like a seamstress or a carpenter, let's cut along that fat line with our poultry shears. Admittedly, with the breast, might be some small bones you have to cut through. Okay. And we'll go to the other side so I can show you again. Here's the fat line on the other side. And going along that fat line is once again where we want to cut. I'm going to save this skin here. That's where we want to cut to disconnect our chicken breasts from the carcass. See, I'm going right along that fat line. All right. You can either cut or break that off. So here's the carcass. A lot of meat on here that we're going to use to make chicken broth with. And that's next. I'm going to show you how to make a chicken broth in a slow cooker, in a crock pot. It's really good. Okay, so here's our 2 chicken breasts. All right. You may say, well, it only looks like 1 to me. Well, you would be right. It's 1 piece right now. But we're going to turn that into 2. So once again, let me just barely get started into the meat here. All right, and I'm cutting up the skin because again, I want, when I'm baking this chicken, frying it, stewing it, I want each and every piece to have a nice piece of skin on it because it's delicioso, flavor-esque. All right, now then, this is the only time when you separate these 2 chicken breasts that you're going to use a knife versus the shears. Actually, you can't. If you're strong, you can cut right through this chicken breast if you have the strength to do it. Some of you may not have the strength to do that. You might hurt your hand. So make sure, like I say, hurt your hand. Make sure your hand's dry. Make sure the handle of your knife is dry, and just let the actual weight of the chicken, right, the shape of the chicken, aid you in cutting your chicken breast in half. We're going to go down like this, cutting it through the meat, and now to get through the bone, take your time, drive slow. All right, and we are just about through our 2 chicken breasts. All right, and there you have 2 beautiful chicken breasts. You cut up the whole chicken yourself, under $8, 8 pieces. You saved yourself a lot of money, and we're going to make just an enormous amount of meals and amount of food with 1 cut up chicken for under $8, as long as you buy one for under $8. Next up will be our homemade chicken broth, which we're going to make plenty of soups and stews with. I'm going to teach you, show you how to do it all. Thanks for being with us, and I'll see you next time.